Hi, this is Brett from SRMoto and SoloRacer.com, and this is our 2024 Ducati Hypermotard 698 Mono project bike. And today I wanted to do a quick video and talk about the Supermoto Mirror package that we offer for these bikes. We get a lot of emails with questions about these, so I thought I'd do a quick video, kind of show them on the bike, and then try to answer some of those kind of common questions that we get. And what I'll do, I'll put links in the video description down below to our online store where you can find all the different parts and accessories that we carry for the Hyper 698. I'll also put a link down there for this project bike page on our website, which kind of gives you a list of all the different parts and accessories we've installed on this bike. There's more photos and a couple more videos and stuff like that that you'll find on the project bike page. So once you're done watching the video, check that video description for that info. If you want to see more Ducati Hypermotard 698 related videos, subscribe to the channel. I'm going to try to do more project bike updates as well as product reviews, not only for this bike, but also for some of the other Supermoto, dual sport, and even street bike project bikes that we kind of have going on right now in the shop. So subscribe to the channel. You'll be updated whenever we upload a new video to the channel. And if you find this video helpful, give us a like or a thumbs up. That definitely helps out the channel. So again, I'm going to talk about the Supermoto Mirror package that we offer for the Hyper 698. So you can find these in our online store. Now, typically one of the very first things when we get a new project bike here in the shop, one of the first things we do is replace the stock mirrors. Normally, stock mirrors, functionally they work okay typically, but they just don't look that good on the bike. And the ones that come on the Hyper 698 are kind of that way. From what I remember, they worked okay. You could see out of them halfway decent. I think they might have vibrated a little bit, but I just didn't like the look of them. They stick up way high up in the air and just don't have a very good look for this style bike. So definitely wanted to try to fit some sort of aftermarket mirror. Now, we use these sort of clamp-on style Supermoto mirrors on several of the bikes we have here in the shop. We've got the same mirrors here on our Honda CRF 450 RL. We've got them on another Honda CRF 450 RL. We've got them on KTM 690 SMCR. We've also got them on a couple of our DRZ 400 SMs. And we actually have a set on this older Hypermotard 1100S. Now on this bike, we actually had to mount them kind of on top of the handlebars instead of below the handlebars. And that's because on this bike, they'll contact the tank if you mount them the way we normally mount them. So we mounted them that way. They don't look quite as good that way, but they work okay. So that's how we did it. On the narrower, sort of smaller enduro, dual sports, and supermotos, you can mount them under the handlebars like this, and they'll clear the tank at full lock on this bike. When you turn the handlebars, there's probably like a ½ inch clearance, so they don't interfere with the gas tank or anything. The key is you sort of have to mount them out as far as you can on the handlebars. So I'll kind of talk about how they install. We include some instructions, very simple installation. There's a clamp that clamps to the handlebar, and then the mirror with the little nylon ball attaches to the clamp, and that's where it's adjustable at that point. And then, so what you do is you just put the clamps on, mount the mirror on both sides, leave everything kind of loose, sit on the bike, adjust the mirrors how you want them so that you can see out of them, and then tighten everything up. And you don't want to go crazy tight on these screws. These are small screws. They can strip out if you're not careful, sometimes crack the clamps. So just be aware of that. Any type of small screw like that, you don't really want to torque them down too tight. They got to be tight, obviously. But now the biggest question that we get with these mirrors is how good you can actually see out of them. And the answer to that is if you mount them this way, far out on the bars as you can, You can see out of them really good. You do have to get used to looking down at the mirrors instead of up like a more traditional mirror. But once you do that, these work great. You can see to your sides, directly behind you, and because of the size of the mirror, unlike some of the smaller mirrors on the market, you can see out of these really well just because of the size of them. They don't vibrate at all. You know, sometimes on these bigger sort of single cylinder bikes, a little bit of vibration here and there, but on this bike, they don't vibrate at all. I think the stock mirrors, if I remember, did vibrate a little bit at certain RPMs, but haven't had any issues with that with these mirrors. So from a functional standpoint, they work great. My favorite mirror, as I showed, we use them on all of our Supermotos. And I like the look of them. From most angles, you can't even really see them. You know, they're kind of hidden down out of the way. So I think they look really good. Now, when you go to the product page on our website for these, we actually offer two different sort of versions of the mirror. There's a standard version and what we call a pro version. The differences are small. The pro version, which is what I've got on this bike, just a little bit nicer overall mirror design. They're the same size. The standard and the pro are the same size mirror. The back side of the mirror on the pro has a little bit more of a kind of a design to it, whereas the standard is just a flat mirror. The clamps are slightly different on the pro model. The clamps are actually a little narrower, a little more low profile, so they'll kind of fit in tighter areas a little better. Like on a KTM 690 SMCR, for example, it's a little tricky to get these mirrors on in the right spot because of how the master cylinder for the front brake is mounted and how close it is to the handlebar. So these lower profile clamps on the pro model actually work better on that bike. On this bike, both the standard and the pro fit fine. There seems to be plenty of room on this bike to get those clamps on the handlebars and then get everything adjusted. And usually they kind of rest up, the mirror itself actually rests up against the bottom of the plastic controls. So again, there's a standard and a pro model. Not a heck of a lot of difference. The pro model is a little bit more expensive. Now, one thing I'll mention on this particular bike, when you take your stock mirrors off this bike, they're mounted here and here, and they actually are holding on the brackets for the reservoir, for the clutch and the brake. And when you take the mirrors, your stock mirrors off, these are just going to be loose and just kind of hanging there. So we offer as an option with this mirror package these silver bolts that kind of match the bracket, and then there's a red, or I think we also offer a titanium gray threaded sort of screw that finishes off the look of it, and that will allow you to reattach the reservoirs and hold them on the bike. So that is an option with the mirrors in case, like, some people may have figured out a different solution. If you don't need those, just don't order them. It's a little tricky because this is a standard thread on this side. This is a reverse thread on this side. So we had kind of a fun time trying to find matching bolts that would be standard one side, reverse thread on the other. So that is an option with the package. And I think that's about it. I just wanted to kind of go over some of the questions and kind of show them on the bike. If you have any questions or anything, leave a comment down below. Try to check those comments and I'll reply back. You can also email us. We have an email address on the website. That's probably the easiest way to get a hold of us, and we try to reply within 24 hours. So again, it's Brett from SRMoto and SoloRacer.com with our Supermoto mirror package for the Ducati Hypermotard 698. If you have any questions, leave a comment below. Otherwise, I think that's about it. I appreciate you watching, and stay tuned for more Ducati Hypermotard 698 mono videos from SRMoto and SoloRacer.com. Thanks for watching.